There we go. Okay, so I'm going to start off with talking about social warm-up. I did a training on this before, so I'm not going to go in super detail about it. Am I okay? It seems like I'm lagging.
I think you are a little bit.
Your voice
Hello? Okay, maybe I've caught up now. Okay, I was like behind myself. Okay, so basically what is social warm-up? So you want to warm up your cold market. So what I do is I do a couple different things. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so what I do is when I want to warm up my social market, I go to my friends list. Oh, first, when you are adding people to your friends list, you want to utilize your friend list categories. So how you do that, once you friend somebody, see if you mouse over friends, you could change it to close friends, acquaintances, or add a list. And I have a whole bunch of lists that I add people to. So when I want to do social warm-up, oops, hold on. Let me go back to my page. Oh, nope, I have to go to my feed, actually. You want to go to, sorry, sometimes Facebook is lagging. Hello, Facebook. Are you kidding me? It doesn't want to. No. Okay, here we go. Under Explore, you might have to click on the See More like I just did, and I think it's being a little wonky because I'm on Zoom. And I click on Friends List, and here are all my friends lists. So say I want to go warm up people that are in other direct sales companies. Now, why would I want to do this? There's a few reasons. One, people in direct sales understand how direct sales work, and they typically buy from other direct sellers. So I want to interact with them, so maybe they learn to know, like, and trust me, and maybe they'll buy from me. The other part of that is it's a sad fact is not everybody's happy with their company. So if you're warming up and they get to know, like, and trust you, maybe one day when they're like, I don't like whatever company I'm in anymore, Laura is always she's always been so nice to me. She looks like she'd be a great leader or a great sponsor. I'm going to go sign up with her, or at least open up the conversation with her. So what I do is I click on that list, and then I go through people that I've put in that category, and I simply just interact with them. You could do this with high school friends. You could do this with coworkers, whatever lists that you make. This is how you do one way of doing social warm-up. I basically every day, or I try to every day, set a 10-minute timer, and I go through my lists and I interact with people. The other advantage to this is the more you are interacting with them, the more your Facebook's going to say, hey, they like each other, they seem to talk a lot. Your posts are going to show up in their feed more. So that's the really good reason why to do that. The other thing I do is groups. So I'm in a lot of different groups. So let's say you go into your local moms group and you just want to interact with people in here. You don't want to post about your business. You just want to go out of your way to be helpful to people. So again, I often will set a timer for 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever time you have, and I will interact with people. Sometimes it's as easy as just Googling for them. Sometimes somebody will be like, you know, what's the best hair straightener, or what is this and what is that? I mean, you literally just go Google it for them. Some people are like, I'm looking for a condo in the area in this price range. I literally just Googled it and copied links, and it took me like 5 minutes to do. And that person starts to know, like, and trust me. And people in that group will start to know, like, and trust me because I'm in there being helpful, I'm warm, I'm friendly, and you really want to build your know, like, and trust factor. Think about it. Why did you sign up with whoever you signed up with? Why do you follow certain people? Why do you buy from certain people? It's because you know, like, and trust them. Let's see. So that's basically your social warm-up. You can do this in person too. If you're in mom groups, you can have meetups and just be super helpful with that with people at your meetups. If you're part of a church, you know, there's like prayer groups and there's all kinds of different church things that you can do. You just have to get yourself out there and interact with people. I know that's scary for some people. Some people don't like that. I'm looking at you, Maria. But but even Maria found a way to socialize with people a little more. We have what's it called? Like a
Buy Nothing group.
Thank you. Buy Nothing group, and it's basically a group where you can't sell anything. It's all about recycling and giving back to your community. And you can make friends in there. Like if you have a whole bunch of stuff to get rid of, people will come pick it up and you can talk to them. You can even like put a sample. I know Ashley Eaton does this a lot when she's getting rid of stuff. People come pick up stuff and she has samples and the things that she's giving away, and she has gotten a lot of customers that way. So it's a really smart way to do things. If you're part of the PTA, that's I don't personally want to be part of the PTA because it's overwhelming for me, but some people really like that. And the PTA is a really great way to plug yourself into a social environment. When you're on the PTA, you are in charge, or at least you have access to the people that are in charge of all the events, things that are going on. So plugging in, either joining the PTA, if you don't have time for that, befriend people in the PTA. So I have friends in the PTA. I actually like them. I'm not just friends with them so that they will contact me about events, but I have friends on the PTA and I'm one of the first people that they contact when they find out about events at the school. They come to me and ask me if I want to do it, and they actually ask me too, since they know I have a lot of direct seller friends, if I have other people I know that I could recommend to do it. So it's all about finding different areas, different social groups that you can interact with, and you want to interact with them with non-business stuff. People are going to think you're too icky, you're too pushy if you're just always talking about your business. You have to create real, lasting relationships with people. So that's just like the basics of warming up your social market. It's pretty easy to do. Just set a timer. And that way you don't get sucked into the Facebook scroll. You set a timer, you have an intention to do something, and when the timer's up, you can, if you still have more time, you can reset it, or you can simply say, okay, my time's up, that's it. I suggest just setting a timer and sticking to that time, because you'll get sucked in, and the next thing you know, an hour has passed and you're like, what have I been doing? So the other thing I want to talk about is 3 Ps and content arcs. So what are the 3 Ps? I actually have notes. I know. Okay, so 3 Ps are, and this is all about posting on social media, no matter what social, no matter if it's your personal page, your group, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever. The 3 Ps are the following: personality posts, purposeful posts, and there's 2 sections to purposeful, and promotional posts. So the breakdown of these is personality. You want to do 40% personality, 40% purposeful, and 20% promotional. And you're like, 20% promotional? Yes, 20% promotional, and I'll get into why. So personality posts are basically low risk, and what low risk means, so a high risk post would be like, you wake up in the morning, you'll look like a disaster, you take a selfie and you post it in your group and say, like, what do you look like in the morning? Post your morning selfie. That's a high risk post because people tend to not look great in the morning. And it requires effort. They have to remember to take the selfie. They have to take it. They have to take a million of them so they get the best, not best looking one. And then they have to post it. So things like that are high risk posts. Asking any like political stuff, I would say away from political altogether. It's any hot button topic I would stay away from altogether. So anything that's just a high risk, you're asking a lot of this person to engage with you. If you're asking personal stuff, it's usually high risk stuff. So what is a low risk personality post? It's basically like a this or that. What's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? Things of that nature, things that they can easily type in a couple seconds and be on their way. People love to give their opinions about things. So if you're just like, you know, which is better, or you know what's a really good one? I have strong opinions about candy corn. It's gross. And so do other people. So right now, since we're gearing up to Halloween soon, once we're a little closer to Halloween, you can start doing, do you like candy corn? I bet it will be the post that you get the most comments on because people have strong opinions about candy corn. So those are low risk personality posts. You want to do a lot of these, and especially in your grouping, even on your personal page and on Instagram, because this is what draws people into you. People follow you for you, not necessarily what you're selling. Even though people are in your VIP groups because you're selling Color Street, what brought them there and what keeps them there? It's you. Plain and simple. It's the product kind of keeps them there, but if you're posting buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, even though they're there to buy your stuff, they're not going to pay attention to you. They're like, eventually they'll just be like, all right, already, I get it, you sell nails, and they'll just kind of tune out. So you want 40% of your posts to be personality posts, and again, low risk. Purposeful posts, so there's two sections to this. There is indirect and direct purposeful posts. Sorry, it's a lot of P's. So what is direct purposeful posts? It is anything that's not about your product but complements your product. So nail tips, that's purposeful. You're showing them how to care for their nails. Posts about what, like removers that you use. You can link to whatever link it is. It's something that is giving them value, but you're not asking them to buy things from you. So that's direct purposeful. And indirect purposeful is like, hey, I made yogurt in the Instapot, here's the recipe. So you're giving them value. You're giving them something they can do, use, make, or whatever, but it has nothing to do with your product at all. It's not nail care. It has nothing to do with your product. So that's indirect purposeful content. It could be a workout routine that you do. It could be a recipe. It can be some amazing item that you bought on Amazon that you just love. It could just be jokes. It could be anything that you find that is something that they would find of value but has nothing to do with your product. So you want to do 40% of those kind of posts. Promotional, I think that's kind of self-explanatory what a promotional post is. It's the, here's my new product, buy it. Those are your promotional posts. So how do we create a content arc with these three types of posts? First, what is a content arc? Basically just like in a story. You have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's, you want to lead people on the journey to whatever your funnel is, wherever you want them to go. So you can do stuff, so we have a fall catalog coming out. We know we have a fall catalog coming out. So with the 3 Ps, you can make posts. You know what, let me get off. I don't really need to share. With the 3 Ps, you can make posts in a content arc. So we have fall coming out. So your personality posts can be about you buying, like what comes out in the fall? Pumpkin spice lattes. Like you can be posting personality posts about pumpkin spice lattes. You could be posting personality posts about something funny with a fall theme. And then a purposeful, it could be some kind of fall recipe. And then promotional, so you just want to post things that are about fall. And then at the end of that post, it's about the new fall catalog coming out. So you're bringing them on a journey. Just like we have those watermelon sets. So a content art for watermelon, a personality post would be, watermelon, do you put salt on it or do you not? So you see what I'm saying? Like you just do posts about whatever your subject is, and you weave the 3 Ps into it: the personality, the purposeful, and then you lead them to the promotional. And this really helps because it shows your personality, it shows the value that you bring. You're more than just buy my stuff type of person. And people really start to like being in your group because it's more of a community and less of a I'm selling Color Street group. So I wanted to kind of keep it short and sweet. Do I have any questions?
I don't have any questions, but I have like examples to kind of add.
Okay.
So that people can see. You guys know, a lot of you know that I gave up my group earlier this year, and I have been working to revive it because I figure if there's people already in that group, I might as well try and revive that rather than starting completely over. And it's the 3 Ps is kind of where I started, and I really, if you're trying to rebuild a group, or let's say you don't have much engagement, don't post about Color Street at all. Like I went full force for like a week and a half of totally personality. I couldn't think of the word for a moment.
A lot of Ps, I know.
I went almost total personality, you guys. I may have had a couple like purposeful things, but completely indirect. Not anything that had to do with nails or personal care or anything like that. But the more I started doing it, actually the more fun it got, because what happened was I was getting a lot of engagement on the posts. So like last night, these are kind of like your low risk posts. Like it's a picture of a cup of noodles and a cup on the table. And all I said was, this is how I parented tonight. What's your go-to gourmet dinner, in quotes, for your kids? I have seen by 50, I've got 10 comments and 5 reactions to it. You know, so those are the easy things. But then when I post something that's, you know, about Color Street, it's getting better. We're up to 3 comments on things. Do you have a message that says your session has ended?
No.
Oh my Zoom. I swear. Oh, you know what? I put in a ticket to support. I wonder if they're working on my account. They might take me out.
You're still
But
here.
I also, you guys, I've taken some things lately, and like if I see something that I really like a quote or something like that, I've recreated it and posted it just so that it fits more of like who I am. Like this one, I saw this on something, but it was like grainy and I didn't like the image. So I redid it in word swag. Who knew the hardest part of adulting is figuring out what to have dinner every night for the rest of your life? That one got 24 comments on it. And that's even ask a question. I just posted that and I was like, but seriously. So it doesn't have, when I started learning this, the 3 Ps, I mean, Laura's been talking about this for a while and to me, and I've heard it, but I kept thinking that it had to be me, like my face, my kids, my stuff. And it's not. You can take graphics that you find from other places. You can post them. You can use those. If you don't like the way it looks, just use word swag and recreate it. You know, you don't need, forget about branding or anything like that. Just be you. Pick things that you like, things that speak to you. And it's what it did for my group. My group is really revived right now, and I did a live sell, and you know that did well. So I'm actually having fun in my group, you guys, and I was not having fun with it before. Because I felt like I was constantly having to think about, oh, what do I post now? What should I post? You know, and I get these content planning schedules, and then it would be like, okay, on this day I'm going to post about this, and it's so much work. Doing it on the fly works so much better for me.
Yeah, and that's a good point. You got to do whatever is working for you. If you do better at scheduling, do that. If you do better on the fly, do that. Or like me, I kind of do a mixture. So I totally schedule my group. But you know what? I actually haven't been scheduling my group the last 2 weeks, and my engagement is way down because I'm not being consistent. But I do a mixture. So I schedule some and I do stuff on the fly because something will come up and I'm like, oh my God, I got to do that right now. I'm going to forget. But you can also schedule that stuff. So if something's going on right now, If you have 5 seconds, stop, post it, schedule it for later.
Yep.
And like Maria said, if you see posts that you like, some kind of inspirational post or something that's funny, I take a snapshot of it, I save it, and later that night I just go into PicMonkey or WordSwag or whatever, and I literally take 4 minutes, I recreate it, and I put my own branding on it. You don't have to put your own branding. I do suggest trying at some point to brand yourself a little bit so that when people see you post, they know it's you without knowing it's you.
Right.
There's lots of people that I follow that I just know it's them just by the colors and the fonts or whatever. But it's really important to recreate stuff, because if you're just reposting something somebody posted, Facebook sees that as not original content.
Right.
They'll show it less. I know Facebook and their algorithms.
Yeah, and I do what Laura does too, like the mixing of scheduling and posting on the fly. Part of it is because, let's say I've already posted 3 times that day, but I see something that just cracks me up. You know, I'll save it, I'll recreate it, whatever, and then I will post it and schedule it for like the next morning, you know, because then it's already a post made for tomorrow and I don't have to think about it, you know. But it does help to have some things posted, because kind of the same thing happened. I'm focused on something else this last couple of days, and so all of a sudden I was like, oh, holy crap, I haven't posted. I went a whole day without posting in my group. So that's when I did the whole like parenting. This is my parenting for the night. And then I posted this morning and like, here's the morning parenting. It's vegetables in containers.
Well, and that's why it's good to schedule some things, just some of your basic posts, because you're busy. All of us are busy in whatever fashion. We're busy, whether you work full-time, you're home, whatever. We're all busy. But we all have the same amount of hours in the day to do things. So just schedule some posts. That way you stay consistent. When I'm posting, I typically do 3 posts a day. Maybe that's too much for you. Maybe you like to do more. I would suggest not really doing more than 5 a day. That's kind of a lot, but it also depends on your group. So I do 3 to 4 a day, typically 3. And when I'm consistent with 3 a day, my group is like on it. I have lots of comments. Kara's group is like, she does Nelfie of the month, and she, like right now, I think she has like 200 comments. Some of those are hers, because when somebody comments in your group, you want to make a comment. You don't want to just like it. You want to comment something on it. But she's consistent and she posts every single day, and she's funny. She has lots of personality, and like her group is just rocking. Like most of her sales are from her group, and she's the top seller in her state. Yeah.
And she says most of that comes from her group. So
your social stuff is really important. Never forget about your in-person stuff. That's really important too. But we're all really busy, and you can have passive income from your group if you're scheduling ahead, being smart about it, and taking the time. If you take the time on a Sunday to figure out your schedule for the week, sure, it might take an hour or 2 depending on how good you are with your time. I'm horrible with my time, so it takes me for a while. But a lot of people are really good. If you're really focused, you're like, I'm going to have an hour. Usually, it will take you as long as you have to do it. So if you're like, I only have an hour to schedule my posts for this week, you'll find a way to do it in that hour. But if you just leave that open-ended and you're like, I'm just going to, start posting, scheduling my group for the week, it could be like 4 hours later, and you're like, holy crap, what have I been doing for 4 hours? But just be really intentional and make sure you have to be consistent. There's like 100%, you have to be consistent. Following up and being consistent are the main factors that will make you successful. And if everybody that's like top in this company or any company, you say, why were you successful? And pretty much all of them say follow up.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Listen to Julie Cruz's training. That's the very last thing she talks about. and how to do it. So if you haven't listened to that, go listen to it.
Yes, please listen to it. Let me think. So I hope you kind of understand like what a content arc is. Maybe I'll like make 3 graphics and or 3 posts, and then
that's actually a good idea.
so that you can
Helps
kind of
to see it.
it helps to see it. I meant to do that for this training, but it kind of snuck up on me. Like an hour before, I was like, holy crap, I'm supposed to do this training in 45 minutes. And I haven't even taken a shower or put makeup on, so I was like rushing. Okay, so I think we did that in a reasonable amount of time.
Yep. Once we got on.
I know, once we got on in Zoom.
That's all right. Most people will watch the recording anyway, so it doesn't matter what time it started.
Yeah.
For those of you that were on there, thank you for hanging out.
So anybody that's watching this, if you have any questions, please just message me. I will help you. I don't care if you're my upline, downline, Maria, it doesn't matter. You can come to me or Maria and we will help you figure this out. And my last thing I'm going to say is that you should all get an accountability partner. It's super, super helpful if you both actually hold each other accountable. I have an accountability partner right now, and it's really pushed me to do a lot of things. So if you are serious about being successful, accountability partner, follow up, be consistent. Those are my...
Oh, wait, hold on. Roxy's asking, can you talk about the last P for promotional? She probably wants a little bit more information about like what a promotional post might look like.
So promotional post is anything about your product. When you're posting something about buying your product, that's a promotional post. This or that kind of post, those are more personality, because you're just, even though it has a touch of promotional because you are trying to show the different sets for them to buy it, so that's kind of like a twofer. But promotionals are just like, here's the new fall catalog kind of post. This foundation set's coming out today. Anything that's 100% about them buying your product is a promotional post.
I don't think there's anything. Okay, as far as what to say, I was going to say that there's no wrong or right way to say it in a promotional post.
No.
But I will say that don't just drop a link or a picture and be like, order today. Like, say something about it, like, you know, like today we've got the foundation set, you know, something a little more personal. It doesn't have to be personal experience, but just something to make it a little bit softer and warmer, not just like, hey, here you go, order. Got it, thank you. I think I do way too many promotional posts.
But you're not alone, Roxy. Most people do. Because your mindset about the whole thing is they're in my group to buy.
Right.
So I get, and that's what a lot of people do. They're like, why not post promotional stuff? The more I'm putting it in their face, the more exposure they have, the more they're going to buy. But but everybody's doing that. Everywhere you go, it's buy my stuff. So people start feeling overwhelmed and they want to have some kind of connection with people.
Yeah, and you know what? When you start posting more of the personality and the engagement stuff, it really does make the group feel so much more fun. And when I've posted like the promotional stuff, there's zero guilt about it now. Because that's not what my primary focus has been. My focus has been like the conversations and the engaging and all of that. And then like, oh, hey, by the way, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
That's more what it feels like versus like, bye. Oh, isn't this cute? Bye. Oh, isn't this funny? So it feels much different.
And people will see through that. They'll see right through it. Most people, especially people that are in direct sales, a lot of people in direct sales will see right through your BS. They will. I'm in a couple of groups and I see right through it and I feel icky and I leave, basically. Like, and a lot of people are in direct sales. Yeah. But when you're doing a promotional post, you can put personality in your promotional posts. Like you can say something funny. If it's like about the fall catalog, you can write like a paragraph about why you love fall. Like you can weave, like Maria said, stories. It's or Kendra Hall or whatever her name is. I think that's her name. Kendra, sorry. It's all about weaving your story and personality, and it doesn't have to be some mind-blowing, crazy, like personal story. It could just be anything. Like, just make some kind of human connection to what you're posting, something maybe somebody can relate to. It doesn't have to relate to everybody, but somebody will relate to it. And when you're posting a story, there's like keywords. So if you're saying fall and pumpkin lattes and Target or whatever you're posting about, Facebook will say, oh, who else has been posting about Target and fall and spice lattes? And they'll start showing, they'll say, I think you guys would like each other. And they'll start showing your posts in their feed. So that's why it's important to do more than just write a sentence.
I didn't know that Facebook, I knew it, but it was absolutely blatant to me because I posted yesterday about the stay-at-home mom thing. And today I have like 5 people, their posts show up. Some of them are within like the last 2 days. One of them's like 4 days old, and it talks specifically about stay-at-home mom. And I was like, what the? And I was like, oh, Facebook, I love you and I hate you at the same time.
Yeah, and it's actually really smart. So once you know that, you can weave it in. So if you know who your ideal client is, and it's kind of important to know, it's not just women. It's just not. That's way too broad. You got to really like niche it down to who is your ideal client, and you can say, okay, my ideal client is a busy mom, a stay-at-home mom, or whatever, and you can weave those words into your stories and into your posts. And again, Facebook will be like, oh, Maria's a stay-at-home mom, she has talked about it, blah, 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 and then your stuff will start showing up in Maria's feed. It happens every time. I started talking about Instapots last night because I was like ODing on my yogurt that I made, and somebody I never talked to, he's a former coworker of mine, the only time he ever says anything or sees my posts, I think, is when I talk about Instapots. If I talk about an Instapot, he's always liking it, and he's always like, I guess he talks about Instapots a lot. So since I did,
That's funny.
it showed up into his feed. It was so, I was like, Mike, I never hear from you or see your posts. But now I do, because he commented on my stuff. So just make sure you're intentional and you really try to weave those words into your posts. And I know it sounds like a lot, and you're like, oh my God, this is so much work. It is. I'm not going to lie. But once you understand it and get a rhythm of it, it takes a little bit. But once you get it, it's so easy to do. It really takes the guesswork out of what am I going to post? What do I need? Should I talk about? What should I do? It's just that initial learning curve that takes a long time.
Yep. All right. I got to get going. So.
Okay. All right. I hope that was helpful. So please message me or post in a group or whatever if you need help with anything. I will totally, we could do a Zoom together. You can show me your Facebook group and I can give you some tips or whatever. We're here to help you with anything. All right. So please take advantage of that. You're not taking advantage of it. Use me, abuse me, please. All right.
Thanks, Laura. This was awesome.
Bye, guys.
Bye.